a script writer as well. Filmmaker, script writer, yeah?
Yeah, I think it is always surprising when something is going on and you don't know about it, because when I write scripts or films, I don't have a clue what's going on the outside. And that there is interest in Scandinavian film or in Swedish film is surprising me. I don't even know why sometimes, but yeah, I think it's, for me it's like some bit problematic, because I think people outside of Sweden are interested in things that are typical Swedish, or that the films are saying something about the Swedish spirit, the national spirit, or something like that. But I want to make films that are saying something else about Swedish people, or something else about this society. Sweden has very good. They sometimes believe they are the number one country in every aspect, in health and in people's rights, and there are no classes in the society and stuff like that, and social classes. And my belief is the opposite. So I'm trying to make films that are surprising for the Swedes and for those outside.
What about people who just beginning? You've made a short, you're now working on a feature that's based upon the short. You've had some attention overseas. This festival was actually a beginning.
I just got the student Oscar for best foreign film, student film, short film, and I'm very glad for it right now.
Does this new attention and energy, is that something you feel you can use as kind of a way to help drive forward what you want to do? And tell us a little bit about what you would like to do.
Yeah, the thing, I was on my way to make a longer version of the short film, but that helped me a lot, pushed me a lot forward and much faster, and I got help from Finnish Institute, Film Institute, and every March, and I'm very helpful for the extra markers I got to make my film come true. And I think it's very good that we are seen by the world right now, directors and producers, screenwriters and scriptwriters, and for me it's a big door opening for Swedish filmmakers. For those who want to take opportunity of it, it's very good, and I'm very glad that younger filmmakers is coming up right now in Sweden, and we need all the help and power we need to make our film, and I'm very glad for it.
Apart from some of the obvious genres, we've had the crime movies and these novels and films and a lot of interest in remakes and stuff like that. Perhaps you can tell us the stories that you really want to tell. What are the stories that you want to tell? Perhaps outside of those six genres, what sort of stories do you think are interesting to tell from the society at this particular point in time? Question really about stories, including.
Are you serious? That's a hard question.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Where my interest lies, and I also like to. I'm interested in the stories that are about the new Sweden of today, and about people of today that we don't have, that we haven't seen on screen before, and about. It can be ethnic background or class or gender or something like that, but seeing people in different situations of the new modern Sweden that isn't the same as Bergman society was or in some years ago. So it's a new society, and it also demands new directors and writers in that to invent those stories of people. You haven't seen before. That's my opinion.
How to sell that new Sweden to international agents, distributors, sales agents, producers who may be gagging for another cash or another girl with a dragon tattoo, and you say, well, actually, no, we don't want to tell that story. So, how to come, how to sort of get beyond that kind of wave of fixed interest that there seems to be. Because you're doing films that aren't in that genre.
I think my job as a producer, or my responsibility, is to bring out voices and not so much stories. That's the way I think about it. It's about giving an experience, and I don't think anyone will thank anyone for bringing out a film that's just another film. Or that's how I look at it. I'm not so much concerned with the 2 months the film first has in the box office. I'm more interested in historical human marks. So that's how I approach my work right now. So that's how I could validate or defend making films that are not gigantic, commercial enterprises at this point. I know this is my 3rd film I'm producing now, so I'm, starting point in my career where I can be idealistic, and I'm taking the opportunity to just do what I believe in at the moment.
Perhaps I'll throw a more general open question out, and perhaps you can tell me some of your more positive and also some of your more negative experiences recently as a result of this new interest. What's helped you recently from the attention, from the new energy, and what perhaps has been a problem for you, specifically?
I'll start. More positive side of things. Well, actually, one negative aspect is that you can definitely see that the international eyes are not only looking at Scandinavia, they're actually moving in. They're trying to grasp the stories and the possibility of doing adaptations and remakes already at the book level. We have rumors are that one of the big studios are moving in here. That after relocating to some of the huge European markets like France and Germany and Italy, they're now looking to Scandinavia as one possible franchise in the big studio movie making industry. So that
you have more stable currency.
I guess we do. It's the collapse of the euro making us looking up here. But it's that's definitely something that will be direct competition with us, or we should look at it as something that we could use, that we could collaborate with those guys if it's the kind of story that we want to do, the kind of setup. I also wanted to comment on the fact that we have, when it comes to Swedish stories and Swedish narrating and script writing, it's been so formulaic. If you don't look at it, as Erica is saying, as voices, as real, true, artistic voices, it's been a very, very formulaic way of making films, of writing films for the past few years. We're actually looking into trying to get an international tweak, or maybe a pan-Nordic tweak on the material that we have, looking to script writers from Nordic neighboring countries and from outside of the Nordic region as well. That's something that we're looking at from our perspective.
One aspect, I think, I'm not sure where it started, because right now it's a pretty privileged country to produce films regarding the financial institutions. And I'm not sure if the strategy started in the financial institutions like Swedish Film Institute, for example, and then had a good outcome, and that is what they're doing now. Or if they did some small tests, but anyway, I think that international trips has probably made it much more easy to do the films that are not genre-based. The films also Italy, and also and when you compare the possibilities to finance, stupid projects that are enforced, that is the reason why you work with them. It feels like Sweden is the best country to be born in and work in, because it has tremendous possibilities to explore the possibilities of moving image, which I'm very grateful for.
And talking about the public finance situation, do you think that there could be improvements made to that? I talked last year here with some people about the idea that maybe there should be some tax incentives to help bring in those foreign producers, or do you think the landscape at the moment is okay as regards public finance sources?
It's perfect. I guess you can always have more, but I feel that the limits you meet every day is more artistic and imagination and actor-wise or talent-wise than economic, which is just wonderful.
And you're not worried about Hollywood producers coming in and buying up ideas and properties before even the Swedes can do anything?
I'm a neurotic, I'm always paranoid.
No, I think there are many positive things with interchange between different cultures of production, and I think that that can contribute. And of course, it's going to be what you describe as the big world buying up a little small country of Sweden. But I'm not sure how that would be anything else but what's going on in any aspect of business. So. It would be weird to put up any, barriers for that. I think there's more contribution. If talent can move more freely, as we see now, I think it's really good that Swedish directors can go elsewhere and find talent, and the other way around. So, but of course, I don't want to, sell out our Swedish Film Institute and have the same as for the Swedish healthcare business situation.
About the healthcare situation, I don't know very much, but perhaps maybe you have some points you'd like to raise. What other issues do you see that are going to help your business or guide the business in a certain way? What can you use from the current situation to make different, better, more interesting projects, to get stuff done, to get stuff on the screen?
I'm so happy to applaud any one gallery on this risk-taking that we are so happy that the Film Institute is doing, and all our partners, Swedish Television and regional funds, because without them taking risks together with us, we couldn't do anything in what we're doing. And I think, I believe I talked for a moment, so that it's pushing things forward, that, our focus is not investment, but I think the return is very good indeed in other aspects.
Yeah, I completely agree with Erica. We really need the Film Institute in the way of making the films that the market wouldn't allow to be made. And but one interesting thing where we're currently at is the fact that we I don't know if you know about this, but the film agreement is about to run out at the end of this year, and we don't really know what's going on after that. So we don't really know what kind of films we could make. We know that financiers that is about to enter projects that's going to be released 2 years or 3 years from now. They don't know what the market will look like, or it's really interesting times. And
that's a political decision that needs to be made, about renewing the film agreement and changing it, or
Yeah, I mean, it definitely will change. I'm positive that it's going to change in some way. Maybe all of a sudden we have a completely governmental control. That the money for film will completely be handled by the government and not the Swedish film. That could be, one of the consequences of the situation we're at right now. Well, I don't want to take a standpoint right what would be the best thing for film, but I think that without the Swedish Film Institute we wouldn't be making artistically interesting films. I don't think the market would really, want that. Yeah.
I guess that another problem would be to make films that people feel comfortable with distributing and that people want to see, because it feels like we have made films for a couple of years that have pretty good access to the nice international film festivals, but we, as every other Western country, has a hard time distributing those films. Yeah, and I don't. It's a discussion that I would love to have for hours to sit down and see how you can make those kind of films look interesting for a global audience. Again, because my experiences from the 1990s is that it had I just saw some number of early Lars von Trier's films, which I don't think would be seen by so many today. And 20 years ago they had an audience that was slowly disappearing. And
no internet.
Maybe that's what we have to do something about.
Okay, I'm actually taking up this point about distributors and audiences and stuff. I'd like to throw some questions to the audience here and find out who we have here. Do we have other producers, distributors, journalists, writers? What aspects or what parts of the industry do you and me in the room represent? Don't be shy. Speak up. Just ask for the mic. That's always the guarantee. People flee in the front row. I could take the sniper position and point to well, but we have film professionals here, I think. Yes. Okay. So who's going to be the brave one to break the ice and ask a question or give an opinion or share their thoughts on the situation in Sweden? Nobody? Not yet? Okay, maybe you'll throw out in a minute, so I'll throw another question to Sam. Okay, so let's just have a look at the film that everyone's talking about, Venice, which is from South take on the John Le Carre story, of course, based upon very fine adaptation, very fine script. But what impressed me, as I alluded to earlier as an Englishman, is just how beautifully drawn that portrait is. I haven't read the novel, although I'm familiar with John Le Carre's work. But for me, it's really captured in so many nuances. The Englishness there, which for me is utterly surprising. I haven't done that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the opportunities that you might have to take your time and tell other people's stories. I mean, is that something that you think may be interested in? Clearly, Thomas has gone, taking his DOT with him and has created something very beautiful.
Yeah, no, I believe in those collaborations. I think definitely that we have a lot of interesting and talented people here that can get more experience working with other talents in other countries. This is getting very general, so maybe I should go on to
I've always seen Swedish. There's something very Swedish into taking in the international world when it comes to subcultures or just soaking in the world. We've always been very open, especially to the Western about taking the American and English drama and stuff like that. We like the Swedish Japanese, or Scandinavian Japanese. That kind of way of just soaking up some other country's lifestyle or subcultures, and have a feeling for that. So I'm not surprised that Thomas, for example, and Hoyte, Hoyte is Dutch, so but that they in
The Dutch are also a little bit like this.
yeah, the Dutch are like the Scandinavian, so I don't know. But it's still that they have a very clear take on what it takes to make something so believably British to the core. And maybe their sense of Britishness is even more to the core than the British can see themselves, because it's come through the Scandinavian eyes, the Swedishness. I think it's very interesting.
Maybe a question to have an actor here. So, do you see opportunities for yourself and others in your profession to move beyond Swedish film and actually perhaps find roles in international movies? I think more than a one.
I'm glad for that, because we as an artist or actor, it's really great that everything is more inviting in a way now, and you can work wherever you want to go.
So we have to turn Greta Garbo's great play on its head, and you don't want to be alone anymore. You actually want to be out there in the world.
Yeah, I want to be everywhere.
And what about for filmmakers, scriptwriters? Do you see opportunities to take your work and access the international market as well?
Well, yeah, of course. It also depends on where you come from and how you. I see myself as a European person and also culturally, because I have roots in both Bosnia and Austria and born in Sweden, so it's a natural thing for me to aim for Europe and Austria. But I don't remember your question exactly what did you say?
Second last question was don't ask me the question. The question really was about actually taking opportunities to do projects, not necessarily even about Sweden or in Swedish language, but English language, about other stories.
It's always interesting with someone coming from the outside and looking in and making, like Thomas in this case, I haven't seen this one, but it's a new pair of eyes on a society that's maybe become too common or too you can't see it anymore and grow up there, or you can see it with another perspective, and that's interesting.
One of the interesting things to me about the film set in London in 1973 is that the lights are on all the time. Because I certainly remember during the winter of 72 the lights were off a lot because they had strikes and power shortages. But that's not part of the story. Perhaps as somebody who's making a story about a different culture, you moved here when you were 8 years old, and you're somebody that's set in Kurdistan. So, what perspective can you now, as a Swede, bring to a story about the culture from which you came, and this is a story about a couple of boys in that part of the Middle East who fantasize about living in America. So, how does what your experience here and the opportunities that you now have, how does that help inform your work? And do you think you can also take that experience to a wider, more international level?
I don't know if I get your question.
Okay, so how would you like to use it? Would you like to move up?
mostly depends on what script I am working on, and you know, it's sometimes only when I wrote the script, I was thinking about, wow, this thing is gonna cost me a lot to do, so I have to simplify it, make it simpler and hold myself to the budget and everything. But you know, it's go more international. I have more budget and more play with. So of course, it depends on the story, what kind of story I would love to make the film. Maybe the story asks for more muscles and more international and everything, or it depends on making it here in Sweden. So we go for by the script, I think. So, but of course, once again, if I didn't have the international help, I wouldn't make the money from. So, like I do right now, because we are very. It was a dangerous place to make a film in Kurdistan, in Iraq, and no insurance and everything, I think. And but you know, I had I was in January and started the pre-production for February and April, and it was like 2 weeks until the shooting, and demonstration started. So it was like very dangerous to be there.
Oh, you had to start shooting?
Yes. So we came home.
Because of the wheelchair?
Yes. Yeah. So we came home and pressed pause, but finally I got help from international help to start the production again and go back there and make a film. It would be very sad if I accepted like and come home with 3 months pre-production and everything starting for shooting. So I was lucky to have that help from outside. So I'm very grateful for it. And I hope I will make more international films like this one. So you never know what happens. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the time. I know that some of us have to go. Some of us need to go shortly. So let's start over with questions. Do you have any questions here? So we started earlier. Perhaps we have 1 or 2 questions. One, two, one. Yeah.
Sorry. No, I wanted to ask you, Marlon, what kind of international, or if you would play international movies and the kind of film and so on, if you have any idea about that, by any plans?
If I had any plans to work with something specific.
International, more international productions?
Yes, now, right now I actually, I have a camera, and that's why I was so late. I have a camera in my apartment right now, so I'm going to have a audition for an American movie. So, but I would like to. What was your question?
What are your plans?
No, I want to work here in Sweden, and I think we have so many interesting filmmakers here, and also in Norway, and some very interesting new. And I also want to work with Lars von Trier. I think everybody wants to do that, but yeah.
But then you'll never get a camera.
Right.
But then you'll never get a camera.
What?
That's a joke, but then if you work with Lars von Trier, you'll never get a camera.
No, it's true. But maybe I can figure out something to just come in there anyway. And maybe taking Pia again.
I'm sure you can get there on your own steam. I'm going to throw this open completely because I have to go. manager Pumpkin if I'm not in the car within about 2 minutes, and Eric, who's marketing manager, who's part of the world for a variety too. So please just continue talking amongst yourselves. You don't have to sit formally. You can go get another drink and mingle, and we'll carry on without Thomas. Thank you very much indeed. Okay.